there was an element of loneliness because there were a couple of times when we had discussions, not just about Officer Clemmons, but about my earring, about being gay.
Right.
And so there was an ongoing
Tug of war.
pulling back and forth as to what I could do and what I could not do so that people would not guess or know whatever that I was gay. And I would never obviously be able to have a relationship on air that reflected my deepest feelings. And so that was another reason I thought this is very temporary, because I can't go the rest of my life not being able to express myself. Well, there was a cameraman, and there was another engineer who were Black, and there was a woman, Elsie Neal. She and her daughter would make guest appearances. They were not really regulars, but they were on fairly often. So I met them, and so the first 2 or 3 years, there was a dancer who was in Canada who came down for guest appearances and went back. Fred did have a variety of people whom he knew, but I was the mainstay, and I played an important part as Officer Clemmons. I realized that I didn't want gossip, because I had been the victim of gossip already. Pittsburgh is a small town when it comes to something like that, and people were looking for something to talk about. And when Fred related to me that someone had seen me at a gay bar in Pittsburgh, that brought home to me how small a town it was, and that no matter where I went, it became known that I was Officer Clemmons and that I was on Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And evidently somebody went back and spoke to him about it. I don't know the terms, because he would never tell me. I bugged him and bugged him and bugged him. He would never give me the details. What he shared with me, though, was that in that neighborhood and during that time, Pittsburgh would not have tolerated an openly gay person. So he was saying to me, you have to decide, because Heinz and Heinz and Johnson and, the baby oil and baby powder and all that, and Sears, those were very middle of the stream, so-called middle America organizations, wholesome, and they too would have taken their support away from him. So he said, I can't let you take my dream away. That was his baby. And the road that I was going to travel was taking me way off of, that straight and narrow. So he said, you have to decide. And he was not the first person to suggest that I get married, but that was a very strong infusion of, you better get together, young man, coming from him. Right. What are you going to do? Because you can't do that. I won't let you. So I bumped right up against reality, and I decided to get married, which was a very horrible mistake. It's one of the things I most regret. There are several other things, but that I regret it because I did it knowing that I was gay. I'm not bisexual. I am gay. Have nothing against women. In fact, a lot of them are my girlfriends, and we get along fabulously because it's an all-ladies show. So I decided to get married, and I got married, and I feel it was one of the worst things I ever did to a woman who loved me very much. I'm very sorry. I always pray to the universe, forgive me. But in each case, the people involved understood what would happen if I had surrounded myself with an expose and all that. And so they kept the secret, so to speak. And so I did not, I decided I wanted to stay on Mr. Rogers. I continued to work. As a matter of fact, I worked more with him after that. And because he said to me, whether you're married or single, I'll always love you. You're always a part of my family now. And I'm not going to reject you, but I'm just asking you to use your discretion. The thing is, someone who had given me something very much that I wanted, that I cherished, I was not going to hurt him. Yeah. I was not going to go out and start screaming and yelling up and down the hedges and highways what I was and what I was doing. Right. I felt this is a gentle sacrifice. And later on, I frankly saw it as a burden that I had to carry. I had to be discreet when I didn't want to. I pushed people away who I didn't want to push away. I ignored people or rejected them because I did not want even the slightest scintilla of rumor, because I saw how easily it could happen in Pittsburgh. So I'm very sorry that life had to be like that. But this was the 70s and the 80s. And to be honest, it was a sacrifice. I don't let anybody pretend, oh, it was light and gay and I was all happy and I was doing. I was very sad sometimes to be alone. There were wonderful cities that Fred took me to New York, to Chicago, to San Francisco, to Houston, Dallas, you name it. And I felt I could not go out and have a good time. I didn't feel I could do that.
I'm so sorry.
I'm happy that I can tell you now, but I must tell you, I always keep a safe distance emotionally from remembering that. And because it was a rather painful way to live your life. I was home alone a lot. I spent a lot of time alone, and I'm an extrovert. I like people. I invite people here into my home. I don't mind going out, but I've been blessed here at Middlebury College particularly to have a big house. So I invite friends to come over and I cook waffles and pancakes and sausage and eggs, you name it. I like to do that.
I wish you were in LA. I really wish you were in LA.
You need to come to Middlebury, Vermont.
Hey fellow YouTubers, if you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see more, just click on the button where you can donate and be a paying contributor, where you can see more things like read-alouds, drawing tutorials, virtual field trips, cartoons, and more. See more at Story J Storytime, and I'll see you next time.